Hello everyone, my name is Pedro, and I would like to see more research done on adults on the spectrum. We are people who exist and we also have needs and desires, and we deserve it.
All worthwhile therapies that show improvement are paid for. The therapies offered by Social Security are not sufficient and do not help the child. In the future, investment should be made in education. My son was diagnosed late. He had previously been diagnosed with ADHD and specific language impairment. The transition from primary school to secondary school was very difficult for him. He found it very hard to interact with other people. He also began to have obsessions and increased anxiety. I decided to take him to a center to have him tested for autism because of these characteristics. When he received the diagnosis, I felt afraid because I didn't know how to proceed. At a center specializing in people with autism, they gave him a lot of guidance with the help of psychologists. It is very difficult to live with autism combined with ADHD because they perceive things differently, and my son, for example, has to start coming to terms with the new diagnosis. My son now has no support, as he did at school. He is currently enrolled in vocational training. Some teachers also do not know how to treat people with autism. What we are currently working on with my son is occupational therapy with a sensory integration therapist, and the truth is that this therapy has yielded the fastest results. Above all, it has helped him work on his independence and his perception of his environment and himself. My son is 14 years old, and we have worked with psychology professionals on issues such as anticipation, scheduling, structuring, etc. As the child has matured, it is clear that working on autonomy has gone very well as anticipation. On issues such as decision-making and impulse control, we have not yet seen results. Today, I would not do the PECS therapy that I did in the past, because it does not work for other language functions, only for asking for something. In adolescence, this was no longer useful for us. A couple of years ago, we started working with assisted natural language. It is true that more communication functions are worked on, but with a 14-year-old who has just started using this technology, there is still a lot to be done. One very important issue I wanted to highlight is that we have to work together with all the multidisciplinary teams. If each professional goes their own way and there is no communication, no progress is made. Contradictory ideas can arise. I am Christina, mother of an autistic child, and I would like to see more support within educational centers and for staff to be better prepared and trained so that they can adequately care for our children.
Within the university, no training on autism has been offered, and individual differences are often not taken into account. Until you start looking for information on your own, you don't really begin to understand it well. Furthermore, educating yourself independently requires resources and extra time, and sometimes we don't even know where to start.
In my opinion, effective treatment should be aimed at the person with autism and the people around them. It should not only take their symptoms into account. In each case, we must help and understand them, listen to them, and see their strengths. We should not only talk about the difficulties. The aim is to live life in the best possible conditions. My view is that it is important to consider therapies that include the family, the context, the partner. To consider that it is important to promote these points of connection, which often reduce the suffering of autistic people.
What we find are people with type 1 autism who come to us with real trauma and personal blockages. This lack of attention in schools and health centers makes us see the urgent need to establish more protocols and detection processes, so that these people do not have to suffer in a way that ultimately leads to personal situations from which it is very difficult to escape. As someone who lives with autism on a daily basis and as an education professional, when we talk about therapies, we could talk about therapies carried out by people with autism. We value those that have a direct impact on their personal lives, as they help their personal development and help the family to get to know the person they live with. 1. Athena. I also value the fact that they work on a sensory and motor level. That is, therapies that not only have a clinical impact but also accompany people with autism throughout their lives. Many therapies are also very valid at home and in offices, but I believe that they should be accompanied outside these closed spaces. One person alone cannot change the world. Everyone on the outside must be aware of the importance of these therapies.
Many activities are therapeutic in themselves. As president of the Superat Association, which works with people with autism in Royce, We often think that to undergo therapy we must go to a specialized center. All the activities we carry out within the association are therapeutic, as they complement all the therapies that are done in a closed space. The activities we do within the association really contribute to the development and emotional support of these people with autism. For years, we have been running a summer camp and, in addition to sports activities, we work on other skills such as problem solving, conflict resolution, knowing how to win-lose, etc. All these things, which are often difficult to work on in a center, we work on outside. For example, at the Royce festivities, we hold sensory-adapted events in which the individual needs of people with autism are respected.
When a family receives a diagnosis, they tend to seek a quicker answer to what is happening by asking families with children with autism who are not specialized, searching for information on websites with no scientific validity, and on social media. This is despite the fact that specialists place great emphasis on psychoeducation for families in relation to autism. The fact that autism is so visible today is a positive thing because it means that people are becoming more aware. The downside is that more and more people are trying to take advantage of these families in their desperation, offering miracle cures or diets that have no validity or interventions that are far removed from scientific reality. I encourage you to think more critically and to question any treatment given to your child.